Hi, it's Dawn, and this is video number 4, and if I'm getting repetitive, I apologize-ish. Here's what I mean. I've made, I bought this malachite. I've had it in this form for a while, but I recently bought the big dish of it, and I've made 3 other videos. First one was with granulating greens. The second one was a hot mess, never to repeat, with Quinn Golds and family. The third one was a whole bunch of blues. These guys. Love, 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 super love. In fact, I want to do some more with this. But now I thought, well, you know, granulating greens, great. But what if I just use straight up greens like Viridian and Phthalo and Sap and what have you. And I wonder how, well, here, just let me show you real quick. The granulating greens turned out so stinking good. I used the Schminke Forest, super granulating forest greens for these, and absolutely love, love, super love, highly recommend. So I thought, and even the blues turned out just really good. I'm sorry, I should stop yamming and start doing. Look how the granulation on the blues, and these are just non-granulating blues. They're phthalo and a little cerulean, which technically granulates, and then a little ultramarine impression. But anyway, so I had to think. I thought, I wonder what just regular greens would look like. And I have this palette with some greens I'm trying to use up, and well, here we are. So what I found is the best if you're trying to mix malachite with another color is to pick up the malachite first and the color second. And that way the malachite doesn't take over. Hello. Like that. It doesn't overpower the pigment that you're messing with. Wow, I didn't think I grabbed that much green, but apparently I did. All right, well, because if you grab your pigment first and your malachite second, it's like the malachite just says, "Yeah, go sit back, pigment. This is my show." So I kind of discovered that on my last, and this is just an inexpensive book that I got from 5 and Below. It's a 5x7 watercolor book. It's, you know, $3 or whatever it is. But I thought I would play around with non-pigmenting greens. These are Daniel Smith's greens. I don't even know which color's which, to be perfectly honest, but I'm just kind of having a play. A few minutes of fun. Alright, so we're going to grab that color and then a little bit of, I think this is sap green right here. Ooh, okay. I'm not sure if I'm going to like this as much as the granulating ones. And of course, I've got some Daniel Smith Primatex, which I could pull out and see if any of those colors would play well with malachite. But, alright, where are we going? Let's go here. So let's pick up malachite first, and then a little bit of that, and see what we get. Of course, I have my circles overlapping. I just used a stencil, one of those, I don't know, architectural drafting stencils. But you could use a lid to a bottle cap. You could just use anything you want, really, to make your circles. Compass. Alright, this is kind of a blue-green over here. Wow. That malachite took over again. Look at that. Alright, well, we're just going to go with it. Yep. Alright, so we'll dip with the malachite. And a dip of whatever this green is over here that I'm almost out of. Well, that doesn't feel like it did much of anything at all. That's alright. And like I said, I overlap my circles so that they have a little bit of a chance to blend with each other and make some interesting mixes and hues. Those feel like the same color. Let's introduce a darker color in here just to Give a little variety. Oh wow. That's that same color I started with here, but I got a little less pigment of both malachite and the green. I think it might be viridian, but I don't know. I can't tell looking at it. Maybe it's a blue, honestly. Honestly, who knows? This palette is 100 years old. Do love a good mix of blue and green, and you throw a little turquoise in there, a little opaque turquoise nonetheless. Get ready. It's going to be a party. Okay, let's go back over here maybe and grab some of this. I think this pigment's about spent, but let's see if there's anything left. Ooh, might have been some brown in there. Oh well. Got a bit of an olive, didn't we? We did. It's fun just to play with your paints, even if you don't know what you want to do. Just pull out. That's why I have these sketchbooks on hand. Because if you got another book, like a journal you're working in or whatever, and it needs to dry, but you're not done, you're like, oh, I still want to play some more. You can bring out a different book and swirl paint in. If it's a really inexpensive book and you just got leftover paint sitting around, why not? Why not? You might end up with a surprise that you just love. Or in the case of the Quinn Golds, you might end up with a hot mess that you hate. But that's okay. We learn as much from our failures as we do our successes. I'm reminding myself I said that. Yeah, that feels like a blue, like a Prussian or phthalo turquoise. Might be this palette was blues and greens once upon a time, many eons ago. I can't tell, but it's all right. Blue is welcome with green, right? They play nicely together, don't they? They always have, they always will, because they're side by side on the wheel. And turquoise is in the middle playing referee. Ooh. I'm trying to see the mixing properties of this malachite, and just to see if I can get some things I can, really use and employ without it taking over. I mean, good grief, look how it just takes over. I mean, a little bit of this stuff goes a long way, and it absolutely, but it is granulating, and I think the malachite creates some granulation. I don't know if it's creating properties in the other pigments, or if it's just forcing a granulation where it touches, or just what's happening, but I like it. That's kind of why I'm doing this, is I'm trying to explore. Wow, I don't want that much. Trying to explore these colors in the malachite and to see what you get when you play around with it. How neat is that, though? Very neat. Oh yeah. And I'm sure if you mix it with pinks, you're going to get some purples, and I'm sure if you mix it with some yellows, but got a piece of schmutz there. I don't want that. You'll get some different types of greens, but got some paint hanging out. I just thought I'd have a little play hanging out on this palette. Trying to clean it up. Use it up. That malachite was really beautiful on its own. And then when you pair it with the right colors, it plays well with others too. As long as you keep it inside the fence. Translation, don't let it run away with you. Because it can. Alright, let's use this color up. This little puddle. I'm excited to see what these look like dried down. My thumbnail, whenever I do these, I always wait for this to dry, and then the thumbnail will tell the story of how they dry down. But there's some nice granulation happening here, and there's some granulation happening, you know, across. Of course, they're not dry yet, but across several of the pigments. If the pigment load isn't so heavy like that one, you do get some nice granulation here and there. But we'll see how it dries down. And I'm licking the green of the malachite. It's a winner. Anyway, thanks for stopping by again. We'll see you again soon. Bye.